guys, Fred the Nerd here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Legacy Armada Starscream. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I'm a fake Transformers fan. I have not seen Transformers Armada. I know, you can yell at me in the comments all you want, but I'm going to put it right here. It's canon. You don't have to speculate anymore. I have not seen Transformers Armada. And some of you are probably going to be like, well, why are you taking a look at Transformers Armada Starscream if you haven't even watched the show? You're stupid. It's lame. You don't know what you're talking about. I understand that. But I really, the reason why I bought this figure is because I really like his design. And we'll get more into that later. But since I don't know much about Transformers Armada or Starscream in general, the only thing that I actually do know about is, Starscream's death, which, when he died, it affected millions of fangirls out there. And since that Transformers Armada came out in 2002, YouTube wasn't around, and so there's no way for the fangirls to express themselves of how their undying love for Starscream will continue to live on forever and ever. So when YouTube came around, they decided to make a genius idea of putting edgy fan edits of Armada Starscream, where they take a really sad, edgy song and they put it over Transformers Armada Starscream clips, and then I don't think they realized how terrible of an idea that was, because let's be real here, it was kind of cringe. But I'm also going to be coming out here. This is just like a diary entry video for me here. I'm putting all the things that I've never told anyone before. So all 100,000 of you guys are probably screaming at me. But I'm also going to be I'm going to be also honest with you guys. I kind of enjoy the fan edits, not gonna lie. There were actually some pretty good fan edits out there, but some of the times they were really cringe and they were really short, so I didn't really watch them. But I did watch some of the actual, fan edits and everything like that. But enough talking about the fan edits and the overall explosion of how popular Armada Starscream actually was. Let's take a look at the actual box here, which you guys have been staring at for about 2 minutes now. So, taking a look at the box here, you got Transformers Armada in his jet mode here. And for some reason, I don't know why, because I don't know why they keep on throwing random characters into the Transformers Legacy line. We got Transformers Armada Starscream, then we got Bombers, then we got Iguanas, then we also got RC, but it's like a G1 RC. What is going on with these random characters being put into Legacy? Oh, I get it now. I get it, because they're taking really, characters that have been living on in a legacy. It's a legacy because... Anyway, take a look at the box. You got Transformers Armada Starscream on the in his jet mode. Flip around to the side here. You got him in his robot mode. Very nice artwork. I do really like the on the side of the box, as always. On the back here, you got him in his robot mode and him in his jet mode. Flip around to the side of the box yet again. You got the classic Transformers Legacy box art on the side here. But that's enough for the box. Let's take a look at the actual figure. So here is Transformers Armada Starscream, and like I said before, I really do like the actual design of Transformers Armada. And actually, in fact, most of the Transformer characters in Armada, I really do like the designs. It's really like it's really sci-fi, very they took a different path of trying to, appeal to, different angles here. But you can still immediately tell who this is, despite him not, if you have no idea who this actually is, you can probably still tell that it actually is Starscream, even though that he doesn't have null rays. And usually I'll be pretty mad at that a Starscream figure doesn't have, or a Starscream character at all has no null rays. But actually, I don't think that him having null rays would actually be cool. I think that him just having these giant-ass cannons on his shoulders just make up for having no null rays at all. And like I said, you could still tell who this is, despite not knowing anything about Transformers Armada or anything like that. You could still recognize who this is. And instead of, going for, like, G1 accuracy for, like, the colors and everything like that, they decided to go for, like, this really, like, blood red with the gray and everything like that. And you can even see, like, the yellow. All the colors on this character just really fit cohesively with each other, and I really do like it. It gives them more of an edgy, look to it, and that's probably why so many girls and teenagers alike really like Armada Starscream because he's edgy looking and he's like a Tumblr sexy man, but for Transformer fans. But anyway, like I said, really like the colors on this guy, and this figure has a lot of mechanical detail on this thing, which I was not expecting. There's so many layers of detail on this thing. If you don't have this figure, you probably wouldn't see how many details are actually on this figure if you actually have him in person. You can probably find more mechanical details than I could possibly find looking through this video right now. But taking a look at the actual mechanical detail that I can see, you can see the really nice mechanical detail on the arms there. And what I really like about this is since that this, I'm spoiling the transformation here for you guys, this untabs so you can flip the hand into this cavity here. But usually when Transformer figures have this gimmick on here for transformation purposes, they usually just have the bottom of the actual arm here just unpainted. So I'm actually glad that they actually decided to go all out on this and actually paint the bottom of it, which I'm really happy about. The paint on this is also really nice. All the red that you see on here and the black and everything like that is also really unpainted except for the for the arms here. But the metallic blue on this is also really nice. It's very like sci-fi because it doesn't even look like an actual cockpit. It actually just looks like, just has like these weird like lines going through it and everything like that. Very nice. And I'm guessing these are like missile launcher pads on his chest here. Very nice. You can see some exhausts, which I'm guessing these are with the gold paint on there. It just pops. It just really pops. But sadly, there is some, paint mishaps on this exhaust right here, which is a little bit disappointing, but it doesn't really bother me all that much. And you can see the really nice golden yellow in the actual cannon barrel here. Very nice. And you can see the really nice painted Decepticon logo on there as always. This is also painted as well, but a classic, Hasbro Transformer figure classicness. If that's a word. The plastic and the paint on there is also very durable, so you're not going to scratch any paint off of it or anything like that. Very nice. But yeah, I really like the mechanical detail throughout the actual figure as well. You can even see some more weird pipes, and like you can even see some like either those are pistons or something on the actual back of the figure here. Very nice. And take a look onto the actual big ass cannons on this thing. You can also see some more detail in there, and then when you flip it upward, you can even see some more detail on the actual top or bottom of the actual cannon as well. Sadly, there's no mechanical detail in the actual inside of the wing, but yet again, they actually managed to paint the actual back of the actual wing there, which is really nice. So they didn't hold out, so it's not just like looking at a just a cardboard where it's just unpainted and everything like that. And you can even see some more, like, I'm guessing these are kind of like rivets, I'm guessing, which it is on this side as well, or not on this side, but it has like these really cool like lines going through it, and then you can also see some more lines going through that as well. Very nice. I really like that. Coming to the head sculpt here, you can definitely see the G1 influence on the head sculpt here. Very G1 Starscream accurate there. And I really like how he doesn't even have red eyes. He has golden eyes, which is really cool. What's also really cool is that you can actually, like I mentioned, you can flip up the cannons here, so then he could go for some, double blast effect, which is accurate to the actual some other toys as well that of Armada Starscream, and also in the show as well. Very nice. The actual inside of the mechanical detail on the cannons as well is also really nice. And it doesn't distract. When you actually flip up the cannons, it's not too distracting and it's not too wide because it's meant to be that wide. But if you flip up this, then you can see the inside of his chest area, I guess, which is not supposed to do that. It's more for the transformation. But if you really wanted to, it kind of sticks out a little bit too much for me, so I'm just going to put that down. So, coming to the accessories here. Now, this is going to blow some hardcore Transformer Armada Starscream fans. We all know that even me, who hasn't even watched the show, knows that his really iconic weapon here is actually that this wing right here, this wing in particular, actually transforms into an actual blade sword weapon, and it's the most iconic weapon that Armada Starscream has from the show. And many toys have included this, by the way. Many toys have included a removable wing that actually transforms into a blade. and then it can still be transformed into an actual jet, and it actually looks pretty decent for it actually being a transforming wing. But for some reason, Hasbro decided not to go with an actual transforming wing here. They decided to go for this. A plain ass gray plastic blade here. And this is supposed to be this wing here. Remember that. This is supposed to be this wing as a sword. So when you put it into his hand here, the idea is him swinging his wing around, but for some reason you can still see the wing on here, which is stupid. Like, they didn't even think that it would even look that good, because does he have like 3 wings that like, he's got 3 wings apparently. So you got one here, even if you flip that up and give it more of a, having this actually be like that, but you could still see the wing on the side here. It would have been completely easy for Hasbro just to actually include a transforming wing, and people probably would have been fine with it. And then the only reason why I can think that they even included this as an accessory, not actually having a transforming wing, is probably because they thought that people were going to complain about parts forming. But if it's a character feature, then I'm pretty sure that most people wouldn't even care if it actually transforms into a blade in a wing. I don't think many people would complain about it. And I mean, the detail on this thing is nice, but come on. This is not a convincing weapon, all right? This is not a convincing weapon. This looks like a butter knife, all right? He's wielding a giant butter knife. He's about to slice at some blueberry Eggos right now, okay? So this is... I don't know why they included this, and I don't like it, and many people do not like it as well. But what's actually a convincing weapon is he comes with a Star Saber here. And even though that this is pretty basic with paint and everything like that, I mean, the blue is really nice as well, which is a different shade of blue from the actual cockpit, so you're not just getting the same thing over and over again, which is really nice. You even got the gray plastic there, very, basic. But the actual detail on the actual blade itself, really, really cool. There's some really, really, grooves going through there as well. If you flip it on the bottom, you can even see some, what I'm guessing are exhausts for some reason on the blade, which is really, really cool. So it really stands out from your normal, plastic, one color transformer weapon there. So it really, really stands out as well. But I wish that the blade was a little bit longer, because it looks like he's just wielding a dagger. So it's not really, a overall intimidating weapon, because this is supposed to be like the Excalibur of the Transformers universe. So you would expect it to be like massive and huge, right? So for some reason it's a little bit tiny, but it doesn't really bother me all that much. But coming to the actual articulation on this, and the articulation is pretty basic, but there are some really, really unique articulation on this actual figure. But my one complaint of this figure, that I don't know why Hasbro decided to go for this. This is gonna be, it's stupid, and I hate it. The head here, like I come and said, the head looks nice, but the actually articulation on the head is extremely limited, because it is on a ball joint, but for some reason, Hasbro decided to include the ball joint not actually inside the actual head. It's just on the actual back of the head. So even though that you can't really see the side profile of his head, if you lift it up a little bit, it looks like he doesn't actually have a neck, and so his neck is just in the back of his head, it's really weird and strange. But it's also, what's really stupid about this is that it's actually like spring loaded. Either that it's just extremely stiff on mine and it just wants to go into its natural position, but for many people, the head on this, it looks weird if you try to make him look up or down. And sometimes it just goes back to its natural place. So like that, and then sometimes like that. So like it just doesn't always like to go where you want it to go, which is really stupid, and I don't like it. So hopefully it's just my copy, or some other people got a defective copy or something like that. I have no idea. So somebody has any Hasbro employees, please let me know in the comments, so I know that I'm not, over exaggerating on this issue here. But like I said, articulation, like I said, it's very limited at the head because of the tightness or the spring loaded thing, I guess, even though there's no spring in it. But he can look up that far, and he can look down that far, and side to side and everything like that. For the wings here, they're on a hinge joint and they can rotate, but that's more for the transformation. So you can flip that down to make it more cohesive, but we got to have the wings spread out. For the actual arms here, you got a rotation at the arm here. Can go 360. And this arm here is actually on a bar here, so it can actually move side to side, but it's more for the transformation. But you can still get some really cool poses from this transformation feature, and it's extremely tight sometimes. So you just want to push it to the side like that. And then he's got a bicep swivel, a double bend at the elbow, which is really, really surprising on this. And there's no ball joint at the actual wrist, but it's on a hinge joint, but it's a pretty crappy excuse for a hinge joint or just any articulation in the wrist at all, because it's, like I said, it's more for the transformation here. So he can just do the limp wrist pose, I guess. But what's really cool about this is that even though that he has a cockpit in the middle of his torso, he actually has a proper waist swivel, which I was really surprised about, because the actual cockpit's actually tapped into the chest, and it actually doesn't affect the waist swivel at all. So that's awesome. For the actual legs here, he can kick that far, and it can move back that far. Thigh swivel, but for some reason, the actual mushroom peg on the thigh is extremely loose, and it just pops off when I rotate it. And I don't really like it all that much, and I don't really like how it's not being, cohesive and everything like that. So it's really stupid, and now he just looks like a war veteran. So thank you, Starscream, for serving. But for the actual, like I said, thigh swivel, extremely loose on this one, but this one is perfectly fine. But for the knee here, he's got a double bend at the knee. Pretty cool. I really like that. For the actual feet here, he's got a hinge joint. Jesus, I forgot the word. But that's more for the transformation. And also the foot guard on the back here is also on hinge joint, but it's more for the transformation. He also does have a pretty decent pivot, I would say. And he can, when he is not trying to, do that, he does have a pretty good spread, I would say. It's pretty far out, not gonna lie. There we go. But for articulation, very, very nice. And I'm also really surprised that they even managed to include a waist swivel on this figure as well. And the double bends of the knee and the arms also really help with articulation, so you can get him to some dynamic poses. I just wish the pivot at the foot was a little bit more, had a lot more range. But that's pretty much it for articulation. But let's take a look at the actual transformation here. So transformation, what you want to do is that you want to untab the cockpit here. And what you want to do is that you want to get the cockpit to spring out like that. But for some reason, this joint right here is movable for some reason, and you want to put the head down into that cavity there. I'm going to have to bring in the butter sword here so I can show you, because I need to do this apparently. You want to bring that up, and then you want to kind of bring that. Oh, you want to move the spine here so that the actual back can actually fold up like that. Then you can fold in the actual head in there as well. So that's what you want to do. For the actual arms here, flip down the thing here. Fold in the arms, or not the arms, the fists. Then what you want to do is that you want to bring out using that, since the arm is on a bar and it can move side to side, that's what you want to do. You want to spread it out so it's like this. Then what you want to do is that you want to bring in the wing here, so then it's flush with that, and it actually looks pretty cohesive with the paint and everything like that. But we'll get more into how I actually feel about the jet mode in a second. And for some reason, this one doesn't really like to go that well. Okay, why aren't you doing this? Okay, cool. There we go. There we go. Then what you want to do is that you want to bring that articulation down as well. Use that double bend, and then that is going to do that as well. And I forgot to mention that he actually has a articulation that goes up and down, but whatever. For the actual feet here, flip up the guard that goes into the actual foot like so. Coming around to the back here, then you want to flip up the back of the legs here, like so. Flip those out. Flip in the feet here so they lock into place. Then what you want to do, coming back to the side here, you want to rotate the legs here so that these blades are facing inward to each other, so they're facing each other. Then what you want to do is that you want to bend in so that the inside of the thigh is going to collapse into the cavity there. Then what you want to do is that you want to fit in the actual feet into those cavities as well, like so. Then what you want to do is you want to do the exact same thing on the other side. And sometimes the mushroom peg is being annoying and it doesn't want to collapse with each other all the time. Why does this not want to go in? Oh, I think I messed that up a little bit. Come on. Flip that inward so that I can... Oh no, don't do that. Oh no, don't do that. Okay. There we go. There we go. Now, since these little floppy bits, they have little tabs and a groove there, so then you just want to line those up, tab them in so that the legs are tabbed together, so they're not going to move at all. Now here is, oh, make sure everything's in proper place. Oh, this is not in proper place. And here you have Transformers Armada, Starscream, in his jet mode, and it actually looks pretty decent. I really do like the jet mode on this. And everything fits together really, really nicely as well. And it actually doesn't look too terribly bad. And I also do like the cohesiveness, like I said, of the actual wings here, since they painted the top, so it's not going to stick out like a sore thumb. So it actually looks pretty decent with each other. And then you can also see the little tiny wings on the back here, which also look really nice as well. And you can see more, and these little tiny like wings in the front of the cockpit fold out as well. And then you can see more of the detail on the actual cockpit folded straight out as well. And then you can see the exhausts on the front there with the missile launching pads there as well. Very, very nice. And then you can flip up the cannon flipper gimmick still works as well. So then that looks really, really cool as well. Even though that the head, it's just there, it doesn't really bother me all that much. But yeah, it doesn't bother me all that much. But when you flip it down, you can still see his head stick in there, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, this is a really, really nice jet mode overall. But what you can do is that you can take the Star Saber and the Butter Sword here. They have some weapon storage, so you can store the Star Saber and the Butter Knife using the tabs and the pegs, and then you can just put it on the bottom of the wing like any Transformer with weapons that transforms the Drew Jet. Usually the weapons just go on the bottom of the wings, which is, I'm kind of used to it at this point. Usually people would complain, but usually I don't really care. Then you can also come to the back here as well. Then you can also tab the Star Saber and the Butter Knife onto the actual bottom of the legs here, which actually look a lot more better, and they actually don't look too bad underneath there. And it has a lot more, angles there. Very, very cool. Very intimidating looking, even though that this is supposed to be that wing, but it's whatever. Then you can also tab it on the side of his arms there, which is really cool. So that even that looks pretty decent as well. That looks pretty alright, I would say. And, yeah, you can't plug in the blades into the actual cannons there, so sadly, you can't make them fire weapons. But yeah, overall, I really do like this figure. The jet mode is also very nice. It's very cohesive, and I like how bulky it is. And the actual robot mode, I also really, really like the overall robot mode and how it looks, because I'm just a really big fan of his design in general. But there are still some complaints that I have, especially with the head articulation and the fact that this doesn't transform into an actual blade. But everything else, the transformation was really smooth. The articulation is simple, but there's some really great components to that. That the fact that they actually added a waist swivel and everything like that, and the fact that you can actually flip up the cannons and everything like that. Overall, this is a really, really great figure, and I hope that you guys can find this figure and add him to your collection as well, because he is probably one of the best Transformer Armada Starscream figures that I've seen, and that I've actually played with, because this is my only Transformer Armada toy. So, but yeah, overall, this is a really, really great figure. But that's going to do it for me, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I don't care what you do, but you guys know what time it is. So, bye, guys.